broadcasting from Mabula, Kuwait. This is the Me and Larry reality video show. LTL editorial news for September 29, 2009. Continue with the next headlines. LTL want to address, first of all, a viewer on Roman Polanski. I did brought up some points about him raping the girl, the 13-year-old girl, or having sex with her. Because that was reportedly said in the LA Times, that having sex with a 13-year-old 32 years ago. Yes, a viewer name, the email name is Independent View 1, was saying that it was not having sex with a 13-year-old, but drugging and forcing her to have sex, raping her. Yeah, several times. I did bring that up, that he was used to get drunk and get her drunk and got her to have sex. Same, same matter. So they was charging sex with a minor, raping. All that came about. I was saying also, but can he be tried on the same charge? Now, due to our process in the United States, no. And it's still no. Perfect example is still O.J. Simpson. The criminal charge was, did he kill Nicole? And then all the evidence, you know how the evidence went one way and the other, and he was not guilty. So, if he's not guilty of the criminal charge, then that charge is already dismissed. It's already dropped, dismissed. So that means there's the civil charge. And so it was based on the case that is he held responsible. And see, that's where it got into it. Held responsible. Civil charge. So that's when it got into the civil charge case, which he was found guilty. Now, let's take this to a matter of Roman Polanski. Here he is, criminal charge, rape, having sex with a 13-year-old, wherever the case was. Reportedly, she dropped the case. So that was supposed to be clear. Case dropped. Paperwork should have been done. Should have been stamped. That's what I was saying. Should have been stamped. Should have been done. Even though it had been on his record, but it would say case was dropped and dismissed. He fled to France before all that was supposed to be stamped and put on record that is already dropped, dismissed. Because the next thing that came about is the civil case. Or it was a part maybe she did, took it out of court where she got paid. That's a conspiracy theory on that. That could have been. Or that could have been where he still wanted. And that was in 1978. Still wanted for arrest. In this case, that the 1977, and that's another conspiracy theory, that civil charges was put on him. That he was held responsible for her, on her. That he's supposed to be paying. Now, if it's not her, but the family of the victim, the 13-year-old. The civil charges, it's not the same. It's not based on the, even though they say it's rape and everything else, but it's not the same charge. It's a different charge on the civil rights, that he was held responsible for being with her. No matter where he was at, it was just a part with her and him. He's held responsible. So that's the civil charge. It's different, in a different category. So that was still bonding on him. But he went to France. And that was wrong on him. Very wrong. His attorney screwed it up. And they did not tell him that, hey, you gotta come back to the United States and handle this. There's a screw up between the lawyers and him. They both are held responsible. That's why he's in jail right now. I don't care if he has friends from the motion picture industry, directors and all that. If you didn't handle your paperwork and don't get with your lawyers, yes, you're going to be held responsible for negligence of not handling your paperwork. And number two, for fleeing. That is a charge. Fleeing the country. You fled. And that's held against you. Yes, they need to put you in jail on that. On that charge alone. Fleeing. Because that case is not totally closed. Because there's always the criminal and the civil behind it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Independent view 1. And address it in far as court, as criminal law. There's the criminal side and then there's the civil side of it. Not the same, but in two different categories. Based on that incident and the responsibility on that incident. Either way, he is held responsible. And thank you very much for sending me comments. Continue to send comments on this channel. LTL Editorial News. And I'll be very thankful for that. And I'll be back